everyone. It is your BFFF, best financial friend forever, Eric Miller, with another Financial Beast podcast. And this was a Between Two Erics, where I take my advisor, Eric Gersch, and we talk about a significant financial topic that I think people are interested in. Today, we tackled how much you should be paying your financial advisor. So, I wanted to give people that are listening the ability to see like the different compensation models for the different types of advisors that are out there. And then we give you a little glimpse into our model so you can see exactly, why we charge what we charge. And most importantly, what are the benefits going to be to you as a consumer for paying what you're paying for. And it's very confusing, our industry and how people get paid, how people designate themselves financial advisors. So, we spend 30 minutes kind of tackling this. I think it's definitely worth a listen to. Again, please make sure that you give us a comment, you give us a like or a subscribe so that, we know that we're actually reaching the people that we want to reach. And as always, if you guys are in need of financial help, I really want to encourage you, just don't think you have to do this by yourself. You don't. We know that busy professionals get busy. And you neglect your finances, and that's going to have a huge cost on you. Maybe not tomorrow, but 5-10 years down the line. So go to our website, schedule an intro call, and I promise you'll feel better just talking to somebody about your financial situation. Okay, I'll see you on the next podcast. Take care. We're back
again.
What were we going to talk about today?
Well, I think we were going to talk about paying us.
Jeez, yes. Compensation models.
Yes. How much do we deserve?
So, I think we wanted to talk about like what you should be paying a financial advisor. I don't even know if we'll get into that, like what you should be paying them. It's like, what are the different compensation models out there? And we can start there.
Yep.
And then get into like, what is the model that I guess best suits what your needs are, and go from there. But I think the concept of fees has been really overblown to me. Like when I say that, like there's been a huge wave of look how much fees are eating into your overall performance. And the amount of fees that you're paying is like, is dictating or having a very, very huge impact on the amount of wealth that you end up having. And, it started with, I think, the Vanguard model.
Yep.
Low cost, super low cost, investment vehicles and such. And that really hurt a lot of financial advisors.
It did.
A lot of them.
Still does to this day.
Yeah. Because I think people believe that they're going to be able to, the passive approach of investing, low cost, index funds is the path towards, maximizing your wealth.
Agree.
So, let's start with the compensation models most advisors have.
So, yeah, I think your everyday financial advisor, if you go to like an Ed Jones or a Merrill Lynch, they tend to be paid in two ways. Number one, off the money you invest with them,
okay,
a assets under management fee, or a commission, because a lot of those guys are brokers.
Mm-hmm.
So brokers are paid a commission on the sale of a security.
Yep.
Now, I think fees in the financial industry are needlessly complex because you've got a lot of crossover. You've got guys who are brokers and investment advisors, and they might operate under this license with this account and that license with this account. And then they're also insurance licensed, so they're operating on a different model for that account. There's oodles and oodles of ways to get paid. But when you're looking specifically at securities, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, really your only two, or your big, I guess your big two, I shouldn't say your only two, but your big two are going to be either commission on the sale or flat fee based on account value.
Yeah.
And then when you start adding insurance products in, like life insurance, annuities, long-term care, disability insurance, all that kind of stuff, now you're talking generally commission only.
Right. So in that model, that's what you would consider a fee-based model?
Yes. Fee-based means fees on assets, but we also sell commissioned insurance products.
Yeah. Okay. And then you have the fee-only people.
Yes. The fee-only people are, just like it sounds, fee-only. They tend to, they only manage securities. And then insurance products, they do one of two things. They either refer it out to a trusted insurance agent, or they sell fee-based insurance products, which are pretty rare. It's a very small niche, but they do exist out there. But my argument to that always is like, okay, if you're collecting say a 1% fee per year or a 1% commission per year, it's really just a play on words at that point.
It is.
So
the argument is always that the people that are selling quote unquote commissionable products are always taking the biggest upfront commissions that are possible.
Yeah.
And, once I hear that, when someone says, oh, he's only doing it because they get paid huge commissions up front.
Not always true.
It's not always true, because there are different tiers for insurance-based products in which you can get compensation.
Yep.
And you can actually get a compensation model that matches what most fee-only people will charge.
Yeah, trail commissions.
Which is generally just a trail commission, or when I say a trail, it's just a percentage of assets every year.
Yep.
So it's like, it all depends on what that person's doing.
Exactly.
What their compensation model is. But going back to the fee-only people, I mean, what are they normally going to be charging? And what are they going to be doing?
Well,
what you've seen. So let's take a registered investment advisor. Okay. That's a fee-only person.
Okay.
Okay. And they come to you and you go to them, say, hey, will you be my financial advisor? Okay. What are they going to then do for you?
Generally, from what I've read and seen in the industry, is they're going to write you a financial plan that essentially is aimed at gathering all of your assets. They're going to have you transfer all of your investable assets over to them, and then they're going to manage them each year.
Okay. So there's two different things that you said there. They're going to write you a financial plan.
Yep.
And then they're going to invest your assets.
Yep.
Now, those are two different things.
Yep.
Right? Because doing planning work is separate from managing investments.
Yes.
It's not all rolled into one. But what would you say but the fee that the person is paying is generally just on the assets?
Yes.
And then do most advisors just do the planning for free?
Yes.
Right. Why?
Because it's how they bring the assets in.
Yeah.
It's the loss leader.
Okay. So that is the thing they give up.
Yep.
The planning work in order to get the assets to do that.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, a lot of those guys, too, keep in mind,
there's going to have to be a minimum amount.
That's what I was just going to say. Most of those guys are, they're not writing plans for people that have $60,000 or $100,000 accounts. Most of them are going to have a 7-figure minimum, if not maybe a little less. I mean, I've seen 500,000, but that's as low as I've ever seen. They're not they're not writing plans for free for somebody who has $200,000 of investable assets.
Correct. Because what is the compensation that most advisors that are under that fee only are going to be charging most of the time?
1%, give or take, based on account size.
Yeah, 1.5. I think I'd probably say as well, just based upon if they do other work, on top of that.
Yeah.
So, okay. And then what about planning fees? What do they usually charge to write a plan? Have you seen that out there?
For fee only?
Yeah.
We just talked nothing.
Okay. But there's some of them
it's
do.
It's baked into the asset management fee,
right?
What it is.
All right, but some of them do actually charge a planning fee.
Yeah. I mean, planning fees are going to vary between like $2,000 and $10,000, depending on the, intricacy of the plan. Is it really a plan, or is it just an investment proposal?
Right.
There's a very wide variety of financial plans.
Exactly. Okay. So for that, basically you get a plan that tells you these are your assets, these are your liabilities. This is your deficiency of where you need to be for retirement. What else do they usually?
Usually there's some advice on estate planning.
Yeah.
Debt planning.
Pretty much it.
Yeah, yes. Savings goals, debt planning, estate planning, investment recommendations.
Yep.
I think that tends to be the main focuses.
And that advisor then is what? Now they're gonna take all the person's investable assets. Let's say they have $500,000 of investable assets, and they're charging 1%. Okay. So they're going to basically be making $5,000 a year.
Yep.
From that one client.
Yep.
Right. And for that, how many times generally they're going to meet with that person?
I would assume after the initial planning, maybe once every 6 months to a year. I mean, It's not going to be constant. It's not going to be like monthly or anything. It's going to be a couple times a year, if that.
Once or twice a year. And then the advisor's job at that point in time, when it comes to that investment portfolio, which is separate from their other planning stuff, is what? Is to make sure that the allocation is correct based upon that person's risk tolerance, right? Is to rebalance the portfolio, is to make changes based upon, things that are going on with that client at that point in time, and to manage the assets, or to monitor the people that are managing the assets.
Agree.
Yeah. Okay.
Agree.
And that's what you get for for that compensation. I just don't think people should expect any more from their advisor at that point in time.
No.
I mean, that's not that much money.
No, especially, an advisor has costs too, technology costs a lot, office space, assistance,
compliance.
Yeah. I mean, if you're getting $5,000 a year, you can only do so much.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It's not all free money.
Not at all. So that is the typical registered investment advisor client relationship that you can expect.
Yep.
You're going to get some planning work. They may give you some, a basic, like you said, the illustration or some kind of proposal on maybe some deficiencies that you have in your retirement planning, maybe some deficiencies that you have in your insurance, deficiencies in your estate plan, and some other things, some kind of a debt repayment program. And then going forward, they're going to manage your individual investments that they can actually manage. I mean, they're not going to manage your real estate. They're not going to manage a business interest. They're not going to manage any of those other things.
No, generally not.
Just the money that you have in investable assets.
Yep.
Okay. And then a fee-based advisor who does both commissions and can charge for planning fees. Really, the only difference is that if you have insurance-based products needs, they're going to make a commission on that.
Yeah, and they can do it themselves versus referring it out.
Yeah.
That's really the only difference.
So when you hear someone that is like saying, well, I'm a fee-only guy, we don't get any money based upon commissions at all. And they say it with this kind of a feet, nose in the air attitude. Like they're somehow like people that sell commissionable based products are somehow lower than pond scum. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, like I said earlier, I think the difference between a commission and a fee is tomato. Yeah. At the end of the day, the important thing above whether you're getting a commission or a fee is, are you doing what's best for the client? And there are certainly times where a insurance product like an annuity is best for the client. If you want to guarantee lifetime income, you can't do that with a stock account. Annuities are guarantees. So you place that product correctly. Now, commissions definitely have gotten a bad rap because I think we left out one group of advisors.
Oh, yeah.
And that's your insurance agent only guys that call themselves financial advisors, but I don't remotely consider them a financial advisor because all they can do is sell life insurance and annuities.
Yeah. Okay. So there is a different class of people out there that are not securities licensed.
Yep.
Don't really have any compliance that they have to adhere to other than the state regulations to maintain their insurance licenses, correct?
Yeah, and those are the guys that give, I guess, us a bad rap because not all of them. Some of them are ethical and good, but a lot of them are just chasing any account that they can get, recommending an insurance product, taking that commission up front, and then they have no duty to the client after that. So that's why commissions have gotten a bad rap. And I'm not going to name any specific firms, but there's definitely some firms that are known for those types of business practices where they hire 50 people, send them out to sell every commission product they can to their friends and family.
Yeah.
Churn and burn.
Call themselves financial advisors.
Yep.
Or financial consultants. But
and
all they're trying.
Yeah, 48, 49 of those 50 people will fizzle out within 6 months because they run out of people to sell to.
Yeah. And all they're trying to do is just, I'm sure they're well-intentioned. I'm sure that they have a interest in the financial world.
Oh, absolutely.
But all they're doing at the end of the day, the end product that they're selling you, is an insurance-based product.
Yep.
Because that's how they're going to get paid.
Yeah.
Okay. That's how they're going to get paid. So, they're not doing if they're doing planning, they're not charging you for it because they can't. An
insurance agent can charge for planning.
Okay.
But I wouldn't consider it planning. How can you plan? How can you truly plan? Let me rephrase that.
Yeah.
If all you can do is sell life insurance products.
Yeah, because what are you going to do when the person says, well, I have $200,000 sitting in, Fidelity IRA.
They can't do anything besides either A, pretend it doesn't exist because they're not licensed to give advice on it,
right,
or B, recommend that the client puts it into an annuity. Those are the only two options. There's nothing else they can do.
Yeah, that's true.
So that group of advisors is the one that I always warn clients against the most is, the insurance agent only guys.
Dude, this is confusing. Is what? I can imagine why the public is so confused.
Oh yeah, no, the financial industry as a whole has done a great job at keeping compensation as confusing as possible.
It's confusing. It confuses me sometimes.
Yeah, no, it took me, 2 years in the business before I even fully understood all of the different comp models and the different requirements to the client. Do you have to do what's best? Do you just have to do what's suitable?
Yeah.
And make it even more confusing with certain types of licensing. You could manage two accounts where one of them you just have to do what won't hurt the client. The other you have to do what's best. Same guy, same firm. It's a complete maze that 99% of clients don't understand.
I'd say probably 80% of advisors don't really understand either.
Yeah, not fully.
And the level of complexity and compliance that, just we have to do. I say it all the time, and we got to spend over $100,000 a year on compliance.
Yeah.
Just having compliance consultants, all the licenses that we have to keep, all the state licenses that we have to do with the insurance. It's expensive.
Yeah.
To do this.
It's not easy.
And I say that not because it's like a badge of honor, but it kind of is, to be honest with you, because I get a little. This is when I say people out there that just call themselves financial advisors or whatever, and they have to do nothing at all, right? Nothing at all other than the bare minimum.
Yep.
To be able to have that designation.
Yeah.
And
it's a maze of an industry, no doubt about that.
Yeah. It's 100% a maze. So it kind of gets into like our model, I think, which, I want to definitely talk about, because I don't know what I guess if you had to classify what we do, we would fall into that fee-based.
Yeah, we're fee-based. Yep.
Fee-based model, right? And the fee-based model is basically one where we get paid for planning fees. And then we also sell insurance-based products as well.
Yep.
So we get paid commissions, and then we make money on traditional managed accounts and on managing assets. And then we get paid on planning fees.
Yep.
Okay. And would you say that we probably charge more than most advisors?
Yes and no.
Okay. Where would you say yes at?
I would say yes in the sense that we charge a monthly fee, which is pretty rare. But why do we charge a monthly fee? We charge a monthly fee because a lot of our owners, if we only worked with people who had $1 million plus of investable assets, we wouldn't need to do that.
Yeah.
But we work with business owners who oftentimes have significantly less than that, and it wouldn't be a viable business to not charge monthly fees just with the clientele that we work with.
How many of our clients had $500,000 to $1 million in investable assets when they first
sign up?
Yeah, it's probably what, 2 out of 10 that may have that. Yeah, it's very rare.
I was going to say 1 to 2 out of 10.
Yeah, it's very rare. When you're working with people that own a healthcare business, or they're not, most of the money that they have is going to be wrapped up in their practice and their real estate.
Yeah. I have some young clients who have 60,000 of investable assets. If I were to only make 1% a year, I'd be working for $600 a year. It's not feasible. It's not feasible, but these people need help because they're accumulating wealth. They face a lot of, different risks. They have a need for financial planning, and their net worth, sure, they might have 60,000 in investable assets, but that doesn't mean they're not a millionaire when you factor in their other assets like real estate, business value, things that I can't charge you 1% of your business value,
Exactly.
Exactly. So
the planning fees are, and the monthly is there to obviously establish, okay, we took the time to write a plan, and then we're going to meet with you on a monthly basis or whatever that ends up being, because, and then of course there's a service that's provided with that.
Yeah. We're meeting with clients every 4 to 8 weeks, depending on, how long of a relationship it's been.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what, 8 to
8 to 12 times
8
a
to
year.
12 times a year.
And it probably ends up being a lot more than that.
So,
when you really look at all the things that can go on, it's at least, it's very, very frequent. It's very frequent.
Yeah, it's significantly more frequent than somebody who's just charging a management fee and meeting with you once a year to review the performance of your accounts.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, so we charge planning fees, and then of course we do charge for assets under management. I think our fees are probably a little bit less than what most advisors would charge.
Yeah.
On the AUM, just because, I think we have a fee schedule that's pretty competitive on that. And then we do make money on commissions for products as well.
Yep.
Okay. So, I mean, if you looked at, like, you took like a client that's got a $2 million practice, right? That's got $100,000 or $200,000 of investable assets, and is, paying us what they're paying us. What are we charging them in fees a year?
I mean, in a situation like that, you're probably talking
$6,000 to $10,000 a year.
It would be under 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be 57. And in that exact scenario, it would be approximately 7.
Okay. But that's a lot. When people say I'm paying $7,000 a year in fees, $8,000 a year in fees, $9,000 a year in fees, I think most people would be like, wow, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but you got to look at, in my opinion, for our clientele, you got to look at fees as a portion of net worth, not fees as a portion of investable assets.
Correct.
So
because now you're looking at how much am I spending out now. At the same time, what are you doing to just, because don't you usually hear like, what is the rate of return on that investment that I'm making?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you quantify that?
I don't get
what do you show people? Like, hey, yeah, you're spending $10,000 on us every single year.
Oh, I mean, we do the full annual review each year, so we can show them what the increase is in their net worth, what the increase is. And I mean, there's 17 different statistics. I don't need to go through all of them, but
no, you don't. But I think the point is that most people just look at the investment account as the target of what represents the value of that advisor.
Yes.
Right. And what I'm saying is that they should be looking at if an advisor actually is doing financial advice, they got to look across the spectrum. Are my taxes lower? Do I have more in retirement reserves? Is my debt going down? Like, you have to look at all these things as in combination. Like, what is the value that this advisor is bringing to me? Right? Because if I'm, if I tell a person, there's $100,000 of profits that are getting lost in your business every single year because you don't have your system set up correctly.
Yeah, that's $100,000 of return each year.
That's $100,000 you're going to get into your personal accounts because you were mismanaging it at the business level.
Yeah, and
and that to me is where I think people need to start looking at when they're the quality of their advisors is where are they going to help me find money that's being leaked.
Exactly.
In other places. I think
there's a lot of areas that are equally to sometimes even more important than just the growth on your investments.
Yeah.
Especially with our clientele.
Yeah, I would say that. And even, I would say that's where the majority of the return comes from. It has most of the return comes not from the investments that we're managing. Most of the return comes from the planning that you guys give.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's a good way to word it.
And the advice that you guys give. And the system that gets set up of how to make sure money doesn't get lost. That's where I think most of the return's going to come from.
Yeah. So, I mean, I just had a guy a couple of weeks ago that I recommended he change the type of entity that his business is.
Yeah.
And that's going to save him $25,000, $30,000 a year for the next 20 years. I mean, you're talking $500,000 to $600,000 of savings right there.
Yeah. It's simple. And that was just one thing.
It's not going to show in his investment account, though.
Nope. And how not only that, but how often have you had somebody that has, paid off their debt over a period of time?
Oh, constantly.
And how much in interest did they end up saving because of that? Hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Yeah.
You couldn't charge for that.
No.
I mean, that's where the planning fees come into play.
Yeah, and I think that's the nice thing about planning fees is they allow you to spend time on stuff like taxes and debt planning, and they allow you to spend time on that stuff that helps improve a client's net worth without feeling like you're working for free. Because if I'm only getting paid on managing assets, how much time am I going to want to spend reviewing, an efficient debt payoff system?
Yeah.
Not much, because I'm not getting paid for it.
That's correct.
It keeps the interests aligned where my goal is to increase your net worth. I don't care if that's through investments, through debts, through taxes, through whatever.
Increase business value, whatever. You're going to look at the whole board.
Exactly.
That's a good way. I didn't even think about that. That's actually pretty good. Our job is to increase your overall household net worth.
Yep.
Not just your investment accounts.
Yep.
And we're gonna try to increase that in any way possible. And that is that is the job of a financial advisor, is to help you really figure that out. And to the degree that you're paying somebody, if your net worth isn't going up, it's probably because you're only paying someone to look at 1/8 of your overall assets.
Yeah.
And that's why you're at. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't get hung up on the fees so much.
Yeah, you just have to look at what you're getting for the fee more so than just the raw dollar amount.
Correct. Look at the strategy, look at the system, look at the advice model, look at the frequency in which you're meeting with that person, look at the advice that you're getting, and then look at, are there quantifiable results that will allow you to see whether or not you're making the kind of progress, and how much are those, and is that enough based upon the amount that you're paying every single year? Yep. I think that's the end game. All right, man.
All right.
Good stuff.
Till next time.
Talk to you then.